Good day. Welcome to our IGCSE Physics series. And we are looking at the first section of topics that you will find in your IGCSE curriculum. Here we will explain some concepts and try to give you a clearer understanding of what is in your textbook. Please feel free to pause and use the resources that we show in the slide series, and also note down anything that you think you will need in future. We hope you enjoy this series. So these are the equations that are used for uniform acceleration. Which equations of motion can be used to solve problems involving uniform acceleration? So acceleration is A, change of velocity is the V final, minus V initial, or VI, and the total time it takes to travel that distance. So it will also be time final minus time initial. And this will then give you your first equation. The second equation is average velocity. So average velocity is also the change of velocity divided by 2. So this means your velocity final minus your velocity initial divided by 2, because this will give you the average between the two distances or the two measurements. And then obviously you have to calculate your time with that, because you cannot have any movement without a measurement of time in physics. So after you've divided your difference between velocity final and velocity initial, you will times it by the time it was used to complete those two measurements. So, which equations of motion can be used to solve problems involving uniform acceleration? So this is specifically to find acceleration and all the components related to acceleration, such as velocity initial, velocity final, acceleration itself, distance, and time. So in this card, I wrote it in a bit of a different way. So U is your initial velocity, right? V is VF, your final velocity. T is your time. A is your acceleration. So the first equation will be VF equals VI plus A, which is acceleration, and T. So velocity final equals velocity initial plus A, acceleration, times T, which is time. Now next one. This S is x, which is distance. So S can be x or distance. So if you want to solve x, which is distance in this case, you will first take velocity initial plus. So add it to velocity final divided by 2 to get your average velocity, and then multiply this answer with your time, or t. Then your third equation, which is x or s, distance, equals vi, velocity initial, times your time, multiplied by your time, plus a half times acceleration times time squared. So all of these will be multiplied together. Then your final one is v final squared, which is v squared, equals to v initial, velocity initial squared, which is u, plus 2 multiplied by acceleration and distance. So these are the 4 different velocity equations that we use to solve for acceleration. And these will be your IGCE examples. So based on where you are studying physics from, you will be either using these abbreviations here, or you will be using the abbreviations that I showed you in the card. When you are doing your exams, you need to define which alphabet letters you are using for which part, if you are using different ones. So for example, you can write it out the way that I wrote it on this card here, to ensure that your examiner follows your logic and knows where you are going with your equations and how you are thinking during your calculations. In the next part, we have some working examples which shows you how to calculate using these various different calculations for acceleration. Then we also have some questions that you can go away and do on your own just to practice and see if you understood what was covered in this session. I really hope you enjoy your day and that I will see you again soon. Bye.